pleasant good day, everyone, and welcome to the live broadcast of the launch of the mobile COVID-19 vaccination campaign. I am Fennel Neptune. This broadcast is live streamed via the National Television Network and also the Government of St. Lucia's Facebook page and YouTube channel. Today we have with us the Principal Nursing Officer, Julieta Cassius, also the Assistant Principal Nursing Officer, who's the Immunization Manager, Tekla Jabatis, and we have a special guest, Susan Colvis Freitas. Welcome, everyone. First, to start the discussion, we will call on Nurse Tekla Jabatis, who will give us an overview of the COVID-19 vaccination campaign to date, and also she'll be highlighting the successes and limitations for the campaign.
Thank you, Ms. Neptune, and good afternoon, St. Lucia. The COVID-19 vaccine campaign was launched on the 17th of February, and that campaign was launched using a phased approach, targeting persons at very high risk of severe COVID illness if infected by the virus in phase 1. In that phase, the focus was on priority groups, and I speak of frontline workers, senior citizens, and people living with chronic conditions. By the 31st of March, some 22,554 doses of the first doses of the Oxford AstraZeneca vaccine had been administered to our population, and this represented approximately 12.3% of the population at that time. For us, within 5 weeks to 6 weeks, we thought this was a significant achievement within a short period of time. Amongst these individuals, of course, we had health sector professionals, persons from national security, border control. Vaccines were also administered to persons in the home, persons who are homebound, the senior citizens in the various communities, persons with mobility challenges, and individuals with lifelong chronic conditions. By mid-April, the national COVID-19 campaign had moved to its second phase, where we targeted persons who are at medium risk of being exposed to COVID-19. And I speak of persons from the commercial sectors, transportation, education, tourism sector. The campaign, of course, at this point has been reviewed, and at this point we have opened up the vaccination campaign targeting persons 18 years and older in the general population. To date, as of yesterday, 12th of May, some 25,716 first doses of the Oxford AstraZeneca vaccine has been administered. This represents about 14.2% of the general population, and 15,775 second doses, representing about 8.7% of the population. St. Lucia, of course, continues to receive vaccines through the COVAX facility. And on Wednesday, the 12th of May, yesterday, St. Lucia receives its second installment of vaccines, of COVID-19 vaccines, from the COVAX facility. It's a batch of 26,400 doses. These vaccines, of course, will be used to further accelerate the campaign, reaching out to persons 18 years and older in the general population. We think this accelerated strategy is important as we aim to achieve population immunity. Very important. The campaign, of course, has seen some successes, and I speak of the increased intake of the first dose of the AstraZeneca vaccine within the initial rollout of the campaign. The response was very encouraging, and of course we know that demonstrated our commitment to continue the fight against the pandemic, and that our people in St. Lucia, of course, understands the benefits of vaccines. The uptake of the second dose of the vaccine continues, and we are very satisfied with the uptake at this point. People who have received their first dose continue to access vaccination sites across the island, ensuring that they receive their second dose. This response can be interpreted as people understanding the benefit of being fully vaccinated, and of course understanding the protection that it affords. Another success for us is that of ensuring that we have availability and access to vaccines. While some countries are experiencing challenges as it relates to availability and accessibility of vaccines, St. Lucia continues to ensure that we procure vaccines to cover the population. To date, St. Lucia has received 3 batches of vaccines, one from from the friendly government of India, and 2 batches from the COVAX facility. This, of course, is in addition to the smaller batches that we receive from our sister islands. Like any program, the campaign has had its challenges, or rather limitations, and some of these include: 1, getting the buy-in from a wider cross-section of the population as it relates to acceptance of the vaccine. One of our other challenge is that of overcoming the myths and misconceptions about the COVID-19 vaccine. That being said, people are encouraged to continue accessing reputable sources, credible sites for the information relating to COVID-19 and the COVID-19 vaccine. And I speak of CAFA, WHO, PAHO sites, and even our Ministry of Health Facebook page. Of note, in terms of our challenges, I must mention the vaccine hesitancy that we have noted related to the rare side effects of vaccine-induced thrombotic thrombocytopenia associated with the COVID-19 vaccine. However, the risk is extremely low, and compared to other factors that put people at significantly higher risk of thrombotic events such as obesity, contraceptive use, and even COVID-19 infection itself. The benefits of the COVID-19 vaccine continues to outweigh the risk. We see that over 130 countries continue to use the Oxford AstraZeneca vaccine, and which includes the UK and many other well-developed countries. Some other limitations that we've noted in the campaign includes that of our human resource capacity. Of course, sometimes we are challenged having to staff various facilities across the island daily. And however, the Ministry of Health continue to work within its constraints, and as such, we continue to partner with various agencies and various stakeholders. Very important to us in this campaign is data, and timely data entry is very, very important. And because of the number of sites running across the island, we are also challenged with being able to enter data in a timely manner because of inadequate mobile devices, especially mobile Wi-Fi and computers. But of course, we have assessed and we continue to re-strategize in order to get this data done and to have all data entered into our health management information system. So given these challenges, the Ministry of Health and Wellness, of course, has revisited its strategy for the campaign, and the plan is to accelerate our approach. And the purpose for this is really aimed at achieving the 70% coverage that we need to reach population immunity, and of course to return to that normalcy that we are all looking forward to. Thanks.
Thank you very much, Nurse Jabatis. And of course, you've highlighted the COVID-19 vaccination campaign, given that it right now targets the general population ages 18 years and older. But I think it is important that we look at the strategy that the Ministry of Health is looking to take now, the new strategy, which is the mobile vaccination campaign. So I call on Nurse Julieta Cassius to speak on that.
Thank you, Fernell. So thank you. Hi, St. Lucia. So as Nurse Jabatis indicated, what we are doing is actually changing our approach slightly, or having an additional approach in our vaccination campaign as it relates to making vaccines, COVID-19 vaccines, accessible to St. Lucians. So throughout the months of from February into now, we have had our vaccination centers providing vaccines to persons within various communities. And also, in addition to that, we have also been able to provide vaccines to the homebound, as Nurse indicated. So what we are about to do now is to kind of have an additional focus. So instead of persons coming to the centers, we are actually going to be bringing vaccines to persons. So this is where we have launching today our pop-up mobile clinics that will be visiting various sites that have been identified throughout the island. And the reason for doing that, of course, like Nurse indicated, we do have vaccines available. So we need to be able to get those vaccines into persons' arms. So the vaccines are available, we are well stocked, and you heard of the additional batches that will be coming into St. Lucia. So we are very well stocked at this time. And also we want to be able to do that acceleration and ensure that persons are vaccinated as quickly as possible to be able to get that population, achieve that population immunity, that 70% that we need in order for us to really say, okay, we can begin to open up and persons can enjoy life again. So the vaccines are available, we do have in stock, and we want to get the vaccines out there to persons. So St. Lucians, you will not necessarily be coming to a vaccination site. We actually will be bringing the vaccines to you. And so we have identified high traffic to high commute spaces, such as the malls, the markets, bus terminals, where we actually will be setting up and to be providing vaccines to persons. We know that persons sometimes may not necessarily have the time to actually visit a center, particularly as we are aware that quite a few persons are accessing those centers, and it may there may be a crowd and persons may not necessarily have the time to sit and wait for such long hours to be able to get vaccinated. So whilst you are doing your shopping, whilst you are running your various errands, also persons within those businesses would also have access. So we'll be actually targeting various groups when we do those pop-up and mobile clinics. And so we've had various collaborators with our vaccination campaign. We have had Event St. Lucia, who has assisted us greatly in setting up the various infrastructure at the various centers, vaccination centers, and also assisting with the flow. So they have been on board with us, and they will continue to be. They will continue working with us with those pop-up and mobile clinics. We also have Axela, who has come on board to assist us in our promotion and also in terms of marketing our product. There, our product is the vaccine. So we are very appreciative of marketing of Axela coming on board to help us market that product. So obviously, we'll be looking at the branding of those products to be able to sell to our population, to encourage persons to be vaccinated. Of course, as we said, mobile clinics, of course, we cannot do that without the support and the collaboration between the National Skills Development Center and the Rotary Club, who does own the bus and will be providing us with that service to be able to move around the island to bring vaccines to persons. We also have collaborated, and we say thanks to the managing directors of these various spaces that we have identified on island. We have the JQ Rodney Bay Mall, we have the Latony Mall in Rufort, we also have the Rufort Plaza, the Rodney Bay Marina, the Castries City Council, and the Sufre Foundation. So all of these agencies, organizations, we have really partnered with them, and they have given us that kind of support that we need to be able to drive vaccination, COVID-19 vaccination, and make it as accessible as possible to the general population. So throughout the month of May, on the weekends, but because these are the Fridays and Saturdays are the high trafficked areas, persons move around a lot on those days. So we have coming, starting from this weekend, Friday, Saturdays, for the remainder of the month of May, we'll actually be going around and, like I said, bringing vaccines to persons, making it accessible so we can vaccinate as many persons as possible with both the first dose and the second dose of the vaccine, to get that population immunity that we need as quickly as possible so our lives can come back to normal. So I just encourage St. Lucians to take this opportunity and run with it, because it's an opportunity to you if you've not had the time to visit a vaccination center. So you'll need to listen to where the mobile clinic or the pop-up site will be, and to be able to access it during your normal back and forth, your normal runnings, your errands, while you shop, and so on. So St. Lucia, we will be bringing the vaccines to you, so I encourage St. Lucians to get vaccinated as quickly as possible so we can go back to our normal life as quickly as possible.
Thank you very much, Ms. Cassius. And I would like to reiterate that, of course, the vaccines, we know that the vaccines will now be brought to persons, although the sites will be available, right, and that Accela Marketing will be providing support in terms of promotion, ensuring that persons are aware of what service in terms that is provided for the vaccination drive. So letting persons know that we have the drives and where are they available, where can persons actually go to get the vaccines. And keep in mind that the vaccines are free, that persons do not have to pay to receive the vaccine. As we move along, we know that we keep encouraging persons to get vaccinated, but I think it is important, given that persons may have concerns and may have questions, that we get the perspective of someone who has received both the first dose and the second dose of the vaccine. So I now call on our guest, who's also a fitness instructor, Susan Colvis Freitas, to speak on her experience.
Thank you, Fennell. Good morning, St. Lucia. So I had my first and second dose of the vaccine, and all I can say is that I'm glad I did it. I work in the business of health and fitness. My health and my fitness is my priority, and also it is literally my job. So I felt it was my, I felt almost obligated to do this. And like my son said to me the morning I went to have my first dose, he said, we need to give science a chance. So I listened to my son and I went to have my vaccine done. Like most persons, I had some of the side effects that were mentioned, the headache, feeling a little lethargic, nothing to take me off my normal routine. So I am glad that I have had my 2 doses.
Okay, and would you encourage other St. Lucians to get vaccinated?
I absolutely would. Some of us who are presumed healthy, especially I want to encourage them to get vaccinated. At the end of the day, it might not be for you, but it might be for the vulnerable ones around us. For those of us who teach, we need to take that responsibility to try to protect those who are vulnerable in our sessions. Also, personally, those who are vulnerable around you in your family, I would encourage everyone to get vaccinated.
Wonderful. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Okay. Another key component of the mobile COVID-19 vaccination campaign is the communication aspect. And the jingle, we have a jingle which a lot of St. Lucians will be hearing in the upcoming days and weeks. So we will now turn over where you could listen to the jingle.
We can win this war. Get vaccinated. We're taking our life back. Get vaccinated. We know what to do. Get vaccinated. COVID-19 we won't lose to you. Oh no. Take 2 doses, take our life back. Time for a brand new day. Take 2 doses, take our life back. To live and work and play. Take 2 doses, take our life back. The health experts we trust. Take 2 doses, take our life back. Vaccinate for you, for yours, for us.
Let's take our life back with a safe and effective AstraZeneca COVID-19 vaccine. The mobile vaccination drive is coming to you. Visit the Ministry of Health and Wellness and Bureau of Health Education Facebook pages for more information. Let's take our life back. Vaccinate for you, for yours, for us.
Get vaccinated.
This message is brought to you by the Bureau of Health Education of the Ministry of Health and Wellness and this station.
Thank you. And of course, we want to encourage St. Lucians. We at the Ministry of Health want to encourage St. Lucians to get vaccinated and also to take advantage of the mobile vaccination sites which will be available. And for more information on the vaccination sites, they can also visit the Ministry of Health Facebook page and also the Bureau of Health Education page for more information on the vaccination sites and also the mobile vaccination sites that will be available. So we've come into the end of the program, so I would like to thank Nurse Julieta Cassius, also Nurse Tekla Jabatis, and also our special guest, Susan Colvis Fritters, for being here with us here today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. On behalf of the entire production team, I am Fernal Neptune. Thanks for watching. Until next time.